Hello, hello. Here we are, the Tipsy Realtors, and we have a great show today. We're going to teach you how to make a Necromancer. We have Dorothy here from Great West Radon, and we're going to talk about radon. And we are here, Rob Moser and Associates, Anna Victoria and myself, to talk to you about all the things you need to know about radon and how to make a Necromancer.
And if you feel like that we are yelling, we are, because again, the mics, like the Bridget Jones, oi! The mic is not working. That's us today.
But we figured out why, so that's exciting.
That's good. Okay, but let's start with the fun. You can see there's a lot of bottles. Not everything goes into a one drink. Robin is experimenting. Awesome. Yes, so we're going to try different gins. Everybody gets a different gin today?
So actually, no. Okay, so I've got a couple of things that I'm pretty excited about. And I have been waiting for a cocktail to do gin with.
She's experimenting on us.
Yeah, but it's because of the fact is, first of all, we're going to do the base ingredients. So the base ingredients is 3/4 of an ounce in a shaker glass full of ice, or a shaker cup full of ice. And it's the elderflower, which I always generally get Saint Germain for the elderflower liqueur, pretty readily available.
Yeah,
and then
becoming more popular drinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we have the Lillet Blanc.
What's that?
It's like a wine kind of sort of thing, a fortified wine.
Okay.
And again, pretty easy to find. Now this one is, so there's absinthe. And absinthe you can get a bunch of different ways, but this absinthe I actually got from Kelowna, from a distillery in Kelowna. So it's called The Alchemist. It's an amazing distillery.
I love the label, Green Frog.
Yeah.
Super cool.
It's local. It's not that green.
Absinthe.
Doesn't that stuff make you
see, this is like if you wanted normal.
That's the original, the European style. That one we'll see. I'm actually very curious. Can I smell it?
Sure, go for it. Now, the reason that now you need a dash of gin. Now, gin, the dash of gin can be, obviously, we recommend using Confluence. I like it says dry gin, but I like Empress because it has that bit of a different flavor and it's local.
For sure.
But this is what I was so excited about, is it's non-alcoholic gin. So you can actually buy a lot of spirits nowadays that don't have alcohol in it, still taste like alcohol, but you can drink without being worried about under the influence or anything like that, or not being able to drive. Yeah. It's non-alcoholic.
And let's put it this way. If you want to kind of have the flavor but less alcohol, because we already put 3 different alcohols in it before we even added gin. If you want just kind of a flavor but not high degree of alcohol.
Exactly.
That's a good way to do it.
You can lower
Don't skip the absinthe, but there is no alcohol in gin.
Yeah, exactly. Everything else has alcohol, but that one would be no. But still, I like it for the days where I kind of feel like a drink, but I don't want to have alcohol.
Yeah, totally. All right.
So we're going to strain it all into this glass. And actually, the glasses that we're using today were actually my grandmother's.
Yes, that's a real crystal.
That's that beautiful crystal. They don't make it like that anymore.
I know. So there we go. Strain it all into the glass, and then a twist of lemon, because you put in a little squeeze of lemon into the glass.
So is it like a cocktail that recommend to be served in kind of a tall glass?
So when I looked at the recipe, it actually didn't have any kind of guidelines. So this is the one with Empress, and that's the one without.
Without. That's
take your favorite without.
Okay, all right. Well, I can share. I'm good with it. So so we got all cocktails here with the different gins. So cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Let's
You definitely smell the absinthe.
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna like this one.
It's so strong.
It's so strong. I just finished a 5-day cleanse, so this is comical that we're doing this drink like this. That's why I got the non-alcoholic gin, right?
Right.
It's sweet though, actually. The
It is.
sweet
Yeah.
flavor is
Sometimes
what surprises me.
sometimes like I find with some of the cocktails we have, because it's such a different combo, you have to have like a second or like sip just to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because like the first one hits you because you don't know what to expect.
Totally.
And it's like a lot of going on. This is a lot going on in a cocktail.
It is, but so you smell the absinthe, 100%. And I thought I would taste it more than I think I do. And then the sweetness is actually what's taking me by surprise because I didn't anticipate sweetness.
And
Yeah.
I can tell you that the second one and third one hits as well as the first one.
You did a 3 already?
She's trying to like it.
It's like, when you go to a spin class, and I hate spins, sorry, all the spin lovers there. And so they said, like, you have to go to minimum to 5 classes to figure it out if you really hate it. Because a lot of people, like, break it in and start enjoying it.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I got the package thing. And the only way I could survive that week if I did, like, half an hour spin and half an hour of yoga. I did, like, 3 classes of hour spin and hated every hour of it. But then they have, you can do this class, 30-minute spin, 30-minute hot yoga. And I only could finish that, right? Because I never came back.
You just have to adjust it to make it work for you.
Yeah.
Well, I got a membership at a gym, and nothing's been working, so I'm going to go there for the first time in person to figure out why not.
Yeah, I know, right? You ask, what's happening? I have to show up in person.
It works, right? You start paying for it, and the pounds just melt off.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, pay every week, right?
Exactly.
So we're talking about radon today.
Yes.
And winter is coming, and it's the best months to do the testing, right?
That's exactly right. You guys are ahead of the
Radon
game.
Yes.
November is Radon Action Month, but these ladies are super on the ball, so they're going to let you know now so that when November hits and everybody else is busy doing their testing, you've already gotten yours started.
Okay, so we've been to Home and Garden Show a couple days ago, and there was I bought the kit for radon testing.
Awesome.
And the one that you need to put in your basement for 3 months, and then you pack it and send to the lab.
That's right.
So it's one option.
That is the long-term test kit. So that's the holy grail of radon testing. So there are a variety of ways that you can test, but the easiest way for you to make sure that it was a long enough test and accurate is that long-term test kit. It's also the most affordable, right?
Oh,
Those test kits,
yeah,
$45,
yeah.
$50, and then they cost usually around $10 to send to a lab. Most of the analysis labs are in the States, so you send them there. They get analyzed. It takes 2 or 3 weeks, depending. Sometimes a little bit longer when it's testing season and they're getting thousands of these kits at the same time. But yeah, so all in, you're looking at like a 4 to 5 month sometimes process. And you can leave these kits in for up to a year if you want like your annual exposure, but then a year is where they max out.
But
so,
talking about location, where the best location to install it? Because like I have a basement and my kids playing on the floor, so probably should
Can
be...
we back up and explain what radon is first?
Totally.
Not everybody knows.
Why
Yeah.
are we even testing for this, right?
I know. And I have a question I want to also don't forget. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So radon is a odorless, tasteless, carcinogenic gas. So there's no way of being able to know it's in your house unless you test for it. It is the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers, and 3,300 Canadians per year die from radon-related lung cancer. And that entire group of people could be spared if people just tested for radon. And the reason, in particular, in Western Canadian prairie provinces are the second most radon-exposed population in the entire planet, only second to Poland in the world. So if anybody should care, it's us people living in Calgary.
And there's a map you can actually quite easily Google if you're interested about how radon kind of goes through Alberta. And you can see it. It's like,
Yeah, they have the geological maps, and even those are based on data that was collected, from testing results that were a while ago. And I would probably hazard a guess that the levels that they're reporting are lower than what they actually are. Like, we quite regularly see people with results in the thousands of becquerels, which is astronomical. So it's so important to test.
So now you just mentioned that number, thousands. What is the normal?
Awesome. So radon levels are tested in becquerels per cubic meter in Canada. In the States, you'll see a way lower number, and that's a picocurie. And the way that you kind of relate those numbers is you multiply the picocurie.
Yeah, different measurements, actually.
Because some people will get a monitor that's set in picocuries, and it'll say 3.2, and you're like, hey, I'm doing great. But that's actually, if you multiply that by 37, that's what your results are here in Canada.
Just can't agree on the one measurement.
I know, right? Like, let's do
universal.
I know.
Now, what causes radon?
So radon gas is caused from the breakdown of uranium deposits in the ground. So we have there's uranium plants in northern Saskatchewan. We live in this beautiful rocky terrain. We get to go skiing in an hour, but because we're so close to these beautiful Rocky Mountains, we also tend to have a lot of uranium deposits in the ground. And as they break down, the gases eventually seep into our homes through the different cracks and voids, sump pits. We have voids under our furnaces. We have perimeter gaps between our foundations, settling after construction, and the radon gas makes its way in.
So you can't run away from it. It's something naturally, we have to learn to coexist with it, but luckily there's a ways to measure and do remediation.
That's a great point, is 100% of homes have radon gas. This isn't, even outside has radon gas. The issue is how much radon gas is in your home. So you mentioned the thresholds. In the World Health Organization stipulates that anything over 100 becquerels is actionable.
Okay.
Health Canada has wording of a maximum allowable level of 200. And then over 200 is considered like actionable, like you should take action. But we're lucky here in Calgary, we have an organization called Evict Radon, and they do a ton of like genetic research, radiation research.
Cool.
They're on the forefront of research on radon. And on their website, you can take a look. They actually consider the thresholds of 0 to 100 is low risk. So awesome, your house is low, no action required until you retest again in a couple of years because radon gas fluctuates over time.
You recommend to do the testing every couple of
Every
years?
2 years if you haven't mitigated. If you mitigate, you can use a digital monitor to retest, or you can just test in 5 years just to make sure that your system is working as it should, because sometimes something will become unplugged, or somebody will renovate and be like, I'm going to unplug this and see, and then it turns out this system wasn't working as it should.
How does the system look like? This remediation.
Yeah, I'll get to that in 1 second because I was just about to. Just so many questions, so cute. And the Evict Radon organization says between 1 and 200 is considered intermediate risk. So anybody with young children, pets, if you have pre-existing lung conditions, all of those things would prompt you to act at that over 100 mark, and then over 200, everybody should act.
Now, just because I've seen the little cubes or whatever, little discs after, it's interesting because it's like a bunch of little pock marks. And they even say that radon, high levels of radon, can even change your DNA and damage your DNA, which is where this cancer and everything comes from. Am I correct?
Exactly.
Because it's like a little things just...
What is in that test kit is actually a piece of bulletproof plastic. And how they analyze it is those pock marks is how fast the alpha particles are hitting that. So imagine if these, radon decay products, these alpha particles are smashing into this plastic, bulletproof plastic, at a rate that you can see pockmarks in it. What is it doing to your lungs when you breathe it in? And then when
Necromancer is a good drink to go with this topic. I'm just like,
we breathe this in, and then these particles are in our lungs, and as they break down, they're releasing these alpha particles that are then shooting through our lungs, and then they're causing DNA level damage, which is why kids are more at risk, because they running around, right? You said your kids play downstairs, all the, high respiratory rates, pets, high respiratory rates, right? So they're breathing in so much more. They also have rapidly developing cells. And as those cells damage, they're also replicating, right? So as your cells grow, they're replicating, and the DNA level damage, best case scenario, that cell dies actually, but the worst case scenario is that it mutates, and those mutations are where the cancer comes from. And kids having so much more life left to live have more time for those mutations to turn into cancer, unfortunately.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but the radon in houses is mostly in basements, because it's more closed in, and that because of the fact that we've gotten our houses more and more efficient and more closed off, so newer houses,
airtight.
airtight. So it's got nowhere dissipate because, like, I have a house in the Crow's Nest Pass, 1932, and then I have a house here in Calgary at 1998, and between those two houses, I have a higher risk of radon in this house that we're standing in the basement than I do of the 1932 house because there's things everywhere.
Yeah, you can feel the breezes.
The air circulation is really good.
Well, that's a great point. One thing that I will mention is that the levels of radon in the basement are highest, but there is radon present all in your home.
Right.
Obviously, your HVAC system, your furnace, you have your fans running,
right?
it is circulating throughout your home, but generally speaking, your levels will be highest in the basement. And then they say there's around a 15 to 50% reduction between the basement and the main level. And then when it goes up, it's usually like the same from there. But yeah.
And then the new houses as of 2016 require now a rough-in for radon mitigation.
Yeah, so the code came in 2015, but yeah, some houses missed the boat in 2015 because code is, it takes a while to actually implement. So yeah, newer homes should have radon rough-ins. Sometimes they're not fabulous, but they should be there. It makes it a little less expensive to mitigate. That means that underneath your basement slab, they've put in measures that are supposed to prevent radon. But like you ladies just mentioned a moment ago, with those measures that are supposed to prevent radon, we've also added a million measures that are making our homes super duper efficient for heat, which is wonderful. But it also traps so much more radon gas. So I think the statistic is houses built in 1996 or newer have 30% higher radon. And we've even had clients test for radon before a renovation and have their levels be, I think this particular client had levels, let's say, of 180. And then they replaced all their windows in their house. And that's the only renovation they did. And they retested and their levels were 400.
Wow.
So even just these windows.
Yeah, because the windows make the
efficiency
airtight.
That's right. Yeah. So imagine doing a whole bunch of renovations, right? So after you renovate is when you also retest, not just 2 years. If you've done a renovation, that's a great point. Also make sure to retest.
Okay, so now what does radon mitigation look like and cost?
Yeah, so this isn't an issue that you can't solve, which is great. So what you install is called a sub-slab depressurization system, or what everybody refers to as a radon mitigation system. So these systems are installed in your mechanical room. We core a hole, if you don't have a rough-in, we core a hole into your mechanical room floor. We do a bunch of diagnostic testing to determine your sub-slab pressures, and then we decide what type of fan that you need. We do a whole bunch of sealing. There's a lot of homes, majority of homes that aren't new, have these huge voids underneath the furnace, which you don't know about. That's a huge radon entry point. Or an open sump pit. That's like a huge, hole in your basement floor. That's a huge radon entry point. So we put a sump lid in if we need to, or put a system on that.
So you have a choice of flooding or cancer.
Well, no. It's not or, because you put the lid on it, your sump pump is still working, and you put the lid on. I don't want people to think they're like, I don't want to get cancer, or I don't want my house to flood, right? So if there is a sump pump or a sump pit, you're absolutely still able. If anything, we don't have to add the system in a separate place, right?
Yeah.
We do spray foam if we need to for perimeter joints. We're just going to make sure that this slab is as airtight as possible, so that then we install the fan, we core a hole at the side, and what this new system is doing is sucking the gas from underneath your home and venting it outdoors so that it's no longer gathering to high levels inside. So this is a constantly running system. It'll just be in your mechanical room, kind of like your furnace. And it's just always going to be protecting your family's.
Yeah, and from what time I remember the last time we had this conversation, it says as soon as it enters outside, it kind of dissipates.
Yes.
Into non-hazardous level completely.
Totally. A lot of people get spat, like maybe the neighbor's like, no, it's shooting at my house and I don't want radon in my house. Within these, unless your house was built viciously, illegally, where there's no property line and somebody's window is right up against yours, which would never happen. As soon as it dissipates within 5 feet of the exhaust point, you're going to open air levels. So it's once it's out there, it's no longer posing
And how
risk.
much does it cost?
So for homes that have a rough-in, it's usually between $1,700 to $2,200, and for homes that are older, it's usually between $2,000 to $2,500. And something new from last time. which I'm super happy about because we've had this question probably thousands of times, is that the Alberta Lung Association has actually come out with affordability grants. So if you are low income, you can get up to $1,500 in financial support towards, as well as if you have been diagnosed with lung cancer, you would automatically qualify for that $1,500.
Oh wow, that's
But it's
amazing.
better not to wait for that and do it.
Well, exactly.
But
if I literally I was just gonna post a story probably right after our little chat here. I just got off the phone with this poor gentleman whose wife just got diagnosed with lung cancer. They've never smoked a day in their life. He never smoked, she never smoked. And here she is with lung cancer and they don't know why. And they Googled it, they called us. And it's one of those things that, you know, you might just be finding out. And they tested 20 years ago for radon, but 20 years ago the threshold was 800 becquerels. They were told was safe.
My God.
So they did the right thing. They did
Huge
test,
difference,
but the thresholds were so much higher, right? So it's retesting.
Yeah, I mean, the new information comes in.
Exactly. Like asbestos
All the
was
time.
fine
Yeah,
to use in the 80s
exactly.
or whatever, right? You don't know until you know.
Yeah.
And now the research is coming out that it's so much more of a risk. Like anything
Yeah.
over 100.
You know what? You mentioned that you're gonna post a story. I know you're very active on social media, educating. Do you mind telling? We will repost the name of your Instagram, but just tell people where they can reach you again.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's actually very informative. I watch it all the
even
time.
even their website is super informative. Like we have a bunch of notes and stuff like that, and like for us. And their website, it's all from their website. Like there's a 96-hour test, which you guys offer, which is great for when you're purchasing a home. It's not a common condition in a home nowadays, but there is that 96-hour test.
Totally. Yeah. So that's a great indicator. We call it a 96-hour assessment. And you know what? Those are great for really bringing to attention super high levels. Because a home that has astronomical levels, it's great to know before you move in because it'll give you some urgency in fixing the issue. But we always recommend retesting, but that is a great way to just kind of know. Some people want to know right away. They're like, I don't want to wait 3 months. I just want to know. That's a great option for them. On our website, greatwestradon.com, you can buy test kits. You can buy digital monitors. There's promotions on until October 12th. You can save.
Promotions!
Yeah, you can save up to $100 on a few of the monitors. So it's a great time to buy your testing device right in time for testing season. And we're on Great West Radon at greatwestradon.com on Instagram, Facebook.
There you go.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of sources.
Now, also too, and I'm just throwing this out there, only sorry, because they were talking about it today on QR77, which is a whole nother conversation. They were talking about a few things.
Yeah.
But they're talking about environmental hazards, trying to put those onto now Realtor.ca, and it would be great if radon and necessary of radon mitigation, if the house has been mitigated, all that stuff, becomes actually a search feature on the Realtor.ca.
I'm sure it will be. I mean, people are getting so much more health conscious, right? It is a latent material defect. So if the homeowner has tested and knows what the levels are, they have to disclose that. The issue is so many people don't know, so then they don't disclose because they have no idea what radon even is, right? So, but you know, it is definitely, and the language around it needs to change. I think a lot of people see a radon mitigation system, which literally is just, some people think it's a humidifier, it's a pipe with a fan like this big and then another pipe. It's like nothing to write home about, right?
Yeah.
So, but some people will see that and be like, what is that? And then as soon as they find out, they're like, I don't want a cancer-causing gas house. And it's like, whoa. That would be like not wanting a house with like a new furnace, you know, because it's like, well, what was wrong with the old furnace? It's like, no, these people cared about their home. They invested the money to have clean air in their home. You want to buy that house, right? Exactly. It's a selling feature.
No, when I see one of those, I'm like, oh my God, this is so awesome. It's already installed.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, people's like, what is this? They're like, look at it. Like,
I love that. That's what needs to happen.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask about the actual testing. Where are the better place in your basement to install the
Yeah, if you have very active basement, like kids playing.
Yeah, my kids playing like on the floor.
Totally, absolutely, and that's a great question because a lot of people get artificially high results because they'll like put the digital monitor right next to that void by the furnace on the floor, and I'm like, no,
that's square footage.
you know, we'll let you know if you did the test the wrong way. If you let us know how you tested, it's part of how we ask just to make sure you did accurate testing procedures. But you want lowest lived-in level of your house. So if your basement is for your Christmas decorations only, then don't test your basement in terms of exposure. If you plan on developing it, then absolutely test your basement. But if you have kids that are gonna for sure play with it or whatever, you can literally just hang it from the ceiling in their playroom. All of our test kits come with like a sheet of paper that tell you where do you put it, where do you not put it. So you don't want any artificially ventilated spaces. No furnace rooms, no bathrooms, no laundry rooms, no mechanical rooms.
Okay.
You want to think about who's breathing in this area. Put it on your teenage son's nightstand that sleeps 14 hours a night, you know, in the basement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Plays video games.
yeah, video, exactly. Or if there's like a gaming room or someone's office where they're working, you know, 10 to 12 hours a day.
Right above Shirley.
Exactly.
Oh, gotcha.
Exactly.
Charlene, we're thinking about you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
Create
just
a little
think
shelf,
about
yeah.
a breathing zone.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
the best way to think of it.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Well, that was a lot of
That was
information. If you
great
guys
information.
ever interested, please just contact Dorothy directly on
Yeah.
Great
West Radon.
Great West
Radon. And again, if you follow her on social media, she's fantastic. So much information. But besides what is this, Necromancer and the scary stuff we just talked about,
Because it's October, so we're
Yes.
talking about scary stuff all
Yes,
October.
we're doing spooky topics. We do have a fun part to today's show because September is over. We're into October. We're doing prize draws.
Yes.
So,
people love prizes.
Yes. So we got 2 prize draws. I don't know if you guys want, Charlene and I
Here,
did.
do you want me to like hold something?
Yeah, there you
and
go.
like live on
Vannas.
Vanna White.
Okay, so as we promised, we're doing 2 prize draws. So first one is our glass feature, which is you can do alcoholic drinks, no alcoholic drinks, cold drinks, and hot drinks.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's really good.
Very nice.
And I did a wheel today, so you guys can see. It's like looks like a candy corn, like it's orange and yellow.
Nice. Very
Yeah,
Halloween.
very Halloween. So we're gonna spin the wheel. Hold on, I'm gonna turn my sound on. The people were sending messages, so I had to turn it off.
So first we're gonna do this.
No, I already
This
said the
one?
glass
this
feature.
one, okay.
Yeah. So see who it is. Candy corn. It's kind of fun.
That is fun. Very Halloween-y.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, it just clicked.
Yeah.
Who won?
Alexander
Obadovsky.
Obadovsky.
Nice.
Oh, that's my hairstylist. Thank you.
Great job on her
Yes,
hair.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to go back, as you can see. That was so.
So she's
You
gonna
want
go
that?
back with a picture.
Yes, I will have to contact him that. And the second prize was so we were talking about cleaning hacks. Was it last show before? When Robin and I were talking about that we put this awesome booklet together and about all the fun cleaning hacks that you need to
But
do.
you can't
Just
see them all.
get in the house, and we including the whole package, like with the ingredients that you need to use, like the vinegar and the bartender's keepers, like we talked about with friends. Yeah, vinegar, bleach,
Borax. The borax is for that cleaning hack for clothes. It gets all that smell out of
Yeah.
clothes. If you've
Yes.
never done that cleaning hack, oh my
It
god.
works so
Yeah, it's
well.
called
love
something
it.
stripping, right?
Yeah, laundry
stripping. Yeah.
It is so
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I love doing that cleaning hack.
It works on like hockey gear and golf bags and all of that. Yeah.
Exactly. And then this is the booklet. So we showed you kind of pages from the booklet, but this is the actual booklet.
Yes. So we're gonna do that again. And there is no sound though.
It's okay.
But let's see.
Who's gonna win this one? This is mine, right?
No, this one's here.
Is it showing?
It went.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
Clara! Out of all the people who don't need cleaning hacks, it's Clara, but it's awesome that
Clara,
got it.
congratulations. So
Yeah,
Clara
She
actually
gets
has
supplies.
she has her own cleaning company. And
needs
she
to surprise them.
She
That's
has
great.
tons of cleaning hacks, amazing. But I am sure, she can put them to good use. Congratulations! So
Thank you,
that's
Clara.
hilarious.
That is.
Okay,
Right.
I have a little thought
Okay,
for
thoughts.
the November giveaway.
Okay.
How about we give away one of the Radon kits?
I would love to give away
Sure,
one
absolutely.
kit.
Because
Let's give away
it'll
a
be-
radon kit.
So it's going to be first week of November that
Yeah.
we're going to be having a show with a
Awesome.
giveaway.
You bet.
Perfect time on starting.
Absolutely.
Doing the test.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
great way
Yeah.
to win a radon kit.
That's right.
Now, we will, though, sorry, I got the sweat.
It's not wet.
It's not wet.
dry
Nobody
as
saw
a
it.
whistle.
We are giving you one of our Tipsy Realtor cocktail and conversation journal. It is the entire
for the
season
4.
of all the conversations
How
and
fun
all
is
the cocktails
that?
that we're making available on Amazon. We will post the link to where you can purchase it. But that is for you to say thank you for coming on our show.
Being a
Thank
guest.
you.
So you
Yeah.
can drink along with us on
Yes.
Wednesdays at noon.
That's
You
it.
have
all the recipes.
I
Yeah.
love that. You can say what you
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can take notes.
And that, take a note. So you guys interested in the season 4 Tipsy Realtors? It's in Amazon. It's not too late to buy because there's a whole year of fun stuff coming up.
A great Christmas gift.
Yeah. And you can
Stockings,
follow
stocking
along,
stuffers.
right?
Yeah.
And make it when
You
you
have a
guys
friend
are
who likes to make cocktails
Yeah.
and play bartender on the weekends.
That's awesome.
That's perfect. And honestly, so far, what did we say? Did we like the drink last one? Last one was good, right?
No,
we didn't like
I don't.
So far, we didn't like any
And
drinks.
Victoria's already determined she's going to hate all of October and November.
Well, I'm looking forward to November because I like the manly drinks. October will be interesting. So, but there is like a booklet of tons of drinks that you probably never tried ever in your life, maybe not again.
But most
Yeah.
importantly, if you want to win from Great West Radon, their radon kit so that you can start testing your home, please make sure to follow us on YouTube and like us.
Yes.
Make sure to like us on Instagram, on Facebook,
LinkedIn.
on LinkedIn, and we will add and we'll talk to Great West Radon that if you like their Instagram and you like their Facebook or any of their social medias, we'll add your name on too. So you can enter your name as many times as you like any one of those pages and
We'll do
share
one of
it
those
with your
contest
friends.
things on my Instagram when you
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
follow and like.
So all of those will be there. So like our page, like Great West Radon, and you will be entered to win the
Radon
mitigation
testing
or the
kit.
kit, the
Yeah.
testing kit. But
Next
next week,
What are we doing?
the ghost flower, and we're talking about how living next to a graveyard affects your value because it's not just about quiet neighbors.
Oh my god.
Such an interesting topic. I love that.
Yeah. That topic comes up at least for me like once or twice a year.
No way.
So so it would be a good one to discuss. Yeah, and of course if you guys like we're in the fall, we have no
Absolutely.
listings. The market is still super active. If you're
Yeah.
interested of selling or buying real estate before the end of the year, there's a number on the screen. Please let us know how we can help, and we can always build a plan if you're not quite ready yet.
And refer your friends, family, coworkers, even people you don't like, anyone you want to move. Please feel free to let them know to deal with us because we are amazing realtors and we'll make sure that they're going to get the best and most information and tell them what they don't know because I think that's the biggest thing when you're buying a house is you need to know what you don't know.
Exactly. Thanks for
So,
watching.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everyone.